And I'm going to try to make this short video as sweet as possible. I was listening to Class Tao's video the other day, and he talked about how these PUAs have been training these guys to be nothing more than living, breathing dildos. And this is where that most of these PUAs have a problem, man, with, because what these PUAs are not really talking about is that in today's world, that most of these women, and especially this North American black female, views you nothing more than a living, breathing dildo. And what this gynocentric society and the courts and all that stuff has taught this female. And I got to give a shout out to Esther Villard for, excuse my French, for writing this good book about the manipulation of men. Now, you can probably say back in the days that, why do you think that most women have to do housework? The name of the game was for her to have resources. Women still want resources, and sure, they work, but at the end, they want you to work hard to keep their houses and everything in order. Why do you think they love to do housework? Because it's easier for them to do. Why do you think that they want you to do most of the driving? Because they consider you a chauffeur. So you're nothing more than a living, breathing dildo to this female. And especially to you, and this North American black female, views you little boys and black men as nothing more than livestock. And this North American female knows this. Especially this North American black female. She cannot relate to you. She doesn't understand in terms of the workings of racism. Because racism doesn't affect her as much as it does him. Even though that this white liberal has no problem using her as a tool to oppress guys like us. And that's why you see most of these black men that are basically feminine. They don't know when to lose. They don't know when to walk away. And that's why we do have a problem today. And that's what they view you as, nothing more than a living, breathing dildo. Why do you think that you've seen cases where most of these women and these non-black women and white women that have gotten in trouble by the law because they're sleeping with these underage boys? Because let's face it, a woman knows within 5 seconds who she's going to sleep with at the end of the day. And that's something you have to understand. Now, don't get me wrong. Yes, that's why these women dress up in skimpy clothes. This is why they wear less revealing clothing. Because at the end of the day, of course, they're trying to attract. But then ask yourself the logical question. What do you think these women have in common with these young boys? Nothing. Just a simple fact of nothing but flat out pure sex. That's it. If you ask these North American females to go pick decent men, that ain't happening. And there was a couple dating sites where you have some women that advertise the fact that they like having multiple men. And I gotta ask yourself, for some of these men that take jobs overseas that get married, why the hell would you even get married in the first place? When you know you're going to be overseas a lot. And I'm surprised that they don't take them overseas. Meanwhile, that female has no problem, advertising herself for other men. That's why she views you as a living, breathing dildo. And I got to give a shout out to Class A Tal for putting a truth video out there. And this is why some of these PUAs, they teach you how to be nothing more than a living, breathing dildo. Now, I'm not saying that some of these PUAs have valid points, but that's what they teach you how to be. Nothing more than a living, breathing dildo. Now, I'm not trying to be ignorant with these PUAs, but, and and I'll say this about MGTOW, they do have a level of buffoonery as well. But these PUAs, man, I mean, let's face it, man. I mean, sure, these guys will brag that they get more women than you and all this other stuff. And I'm not saying that there's nothing wrong getting laid. But some of the stuff is just flat out misinformation out there. And I'll admit that I did buy some of this stuff. I'm not going to lie. But in today's world, it's like that's what they view you as. Living, breathing dildo. Now, if I do approach a woman, it's because I'm in the mood to approach her. But understand this. Most of these North American women, it's like today, if she doesn't like what you say or she's not interested, she can just sit up there and flat out call the police and have the court system on your ass and put a restraining order. And that's the thing that these PUAs will not talk about. They will not talk about this at all. That's why you see the level of fuckery that's going on as we speak. Because they view you as nothing more than living, breathing dildos. And shout out to Asif, she breaks it down and tells you. That's what they view you as today. And I've come to the conclusion that this is what they view you as. They even view me as a living, breathing dildo, because that's all I am. Now, if you women want to take this as hate speech, fine. But hey, this is the truth, and that's really what it is. Especially in this Western world, they view you men as nothing more than living, breathing dildos. A human toy, that's all you are to this North American female. With that, this is Carl Venture signing off.